okay? But don't let that make you believe we didn't accomplish a lot of things this year. This was a season that was never supposed to happen, and because we stayed the course, we worked hard, we stayed diligent with the new things that were thrown our way, we made this season happen. Okay, so take pride and take credit in that you made this season happen. Don't sell yourself short in that respect. Also, let's understand this. We had 2 more games than you would in a normal regular season. We were still able to rush for over 1,000 yards as a team. Big accomplishment there. We had 3 different players average over 4 yards per carry. We averaged per carry as a team 3.8 yards. Okay? We improved in 2 less games from the year prior our passing totals by over 300 yards. Not to mention, we received, I know I did at the end of the game when I would go talk to the other head coach from the opposing team. You guys received so many compliments from opposing head coaches on how well you played, on how much you improved, not only from the previous seasons, but as the year went on. And our opponents could see that through watching film and studying us and preparing for us as they were getting film from different opponents and things like that. So you certainly made an impression on the conference, on me, and on the rest of the coaching staff. And that's something we should all be proud of. Okay? I know I'm proud of it, and I know I'm proud of every member of this team. Okay? I want to give a thank you to all the parents who helped out with team meals. I know it was a different season for you as well, just with having to make sure your kid was arriving to practice in the afternoon when normally that's not part of it. Normally, your child is at school and then they just are at practice. That was different for you all, just like it was different for us. So there were a lot of different things that went into this year where we were very lucky to have the parents we had that, we could trust to help make this season work. So thank you to all the parents. Okay, moving on from that. The first thing we're going to do tonight is Coach Bully is going to speak on the freshmen, and he is going to announce our freshmen who will, obviously at a later date, be receiving their graduation numbers. Coach Bully?
All right, thank you, Coach Drace. First off, I would like to start by thanking you, Coach Drace, and Mr. Madison for allowing me to start my coaching career at amazing schools such as Parma High School. I was given an opportunity this year to work with the freshmen, and I was very impressed with the level of maturity that they had. It was a difficult beginning of their season with, everything that's been going on with COVID, and they were supposed to have their own freshman team, but due to small numbers, they had to integrate in with the JV team. I was in awe, though, when I saw how they stepped up their level of play. You got to remember, these kids, now that they're on JV, they're playing with kids that are 2, 3, and sometimes even 4 years older than they are. So many of them rose their level of play against kids that are much older than them. Coach Madison, he did an amazing job with the freshman linemen, or as he likes to call them, the piglets. He can testify when I say that all the freshmen this year, they took great strides in their work ethic, their level of play, and passion for the game. I'm beyond excited to watch them grow, not only as a player, but as a person. They have a bright future ahead of them, and I'd like to introduce these fantastic young men. And women. Yes, I'm very sorry about that, Leah and Megan. So we have Ethan Santiago, William Hernandez, Jaden Penny, Nick Mankins, Bobby Tupa, Aaliyah Walker, Chase Sheely, Dylan Yantosh, Eddie Jajitsky, Megan Shelley, Bryson Zile, Carlo Rosario, and Danny Grayson. You all had an amazing season. Roger Murphy, Ethan Diamicis, I'm sorry, the list I saw earlier didn't have this. Liam Rynell. Thank you all for an amazing season. And just keep working and get better, all right?
All right. Thank you, Coach Boley. Next, we are going to move on and speak on our JV letter winners. And is Coach Krause with us? Okay, so Coach Boley, you will be taking that as we had planned. So, Coach Boley, go ahead for our JV letter winners.
All right. So this is a speech that Coach Krause wrote. I'll read it off. Do you want me to read his speech or just want me to read the winners?
No, go ahead and read Coach Krause's speech.
Okay. So he puts, first and foremost, I'd like to thank Coach Drace for the opportunity to coach the junior varsity this past year. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact I coached with two fine and upcoming coaches, Coach Boley and Coach Madison. I felt as a JV staff we worked well together, and I look forward to coaching with these two again if given the opportunity. Coach Madison did a great job this year in ensuring that the young defensive and offensive linemen were ready for our games each and every week. Coach Boley was our offensive coordinator and did a great job ensuring our JV was ready as well. Coach Boley, Coach Madison, and myself are certain that the future at Parma is very bright with the young core of freshman talent and the returning players we have coming back next year. The one aspect of this team we enjoyed coaching was the fact that they never quit, and that is something we enjoyed seeing week in and week out. They played for 40 minutes, no matter the score, and that's all we asked. I have a motto that I like and hope to use next year, and it is simple, and it's play for 48. Our JV players have exemplified that motto, and we know it will carry over with them. With the commitment to the off-season weight room this year, we have no doubt this team will improve next year. There's too much talent not to. I would like to especially thank the juniors and sophomores and the one senior who had the highlight of his season when he scored on a two-point conversion for their leadership and dedication to our program and helping the freshmen at the JV level. Thank you, and now let's present the letters to our players. All right. Coach, can you go back to that first, or Coach Madison, can you go back to that first one? So we have Ethan Santiago, Nick Mankins, Chase Sheely, Megan Shelley, Danny Grayson, Brandon Reynolds, Will Hernandez, Bobby Tupa, Dylan Yantosh, Bryson Zile, Gus Battaglia, Liam Ryanel, Jaden Penny, Aaliyah Walker, Eddie Jajitsky, Carlo Rosario, Ethan Diamicis, Roger Murphy, Evan Joy, Trey Vidoni, Colin Scott, and Alex Smith. Thank you all for this year and for the great work that you put in and the leadership that you have put in as well. We look forward to what you guys can do next year.
Thank you, Coach Boley. And congratulations to all our JV letter winners. Moving on, we are going to turn it over to Coach Burns, and Coach Burns is going to announce our first year varsity letter recipients. Coach Burns, go ahead.
All right. Again, let's like the other coaches, I'd like to thank Coach Drace for having me back on staff this year. I get the pleasure to announce the first year varsity letter winners. We're going to start with the sophomores and work all the way up to the seniors. First person, Nick Bonus, Brandon Zelani, Cameron Yan, and Davon Bennett. Juniors, Tyler Gurm, Alonzo Collier, Danny Esposito, Cam Frollo, Seth Merez, Larry Wilcox, Isaac Mullins, and seniors, Dylan Bowers, Kat Santana, and Andrew Baylog. Thank you guys for a great year.
Congratulations to all those earning your first varsity letter this year. Obviously, that is a huge accomplishment and something to be very proud of. Moving on, we're going to go to Coach Sear. Coach Sear is going to introduce our second year varsity letter winners. Coach Sear, take it away.
All right. Starting with our sophomore, Alejandro Castro. Junior, Seth Quiles, Gavin O'Donnell. And our seniors, Dominic Gallo, Jordan Corrado, Nick Dillon, and Nate Burkett. Congratulations, guys. It's an awesome achievement. Very proud of you. Good job.
Good job, guys. Congratulations on those second-year letters. Anytime you're in a varsity letter, it's a huge accomplishment. To do it multiple times is, really an honor and something that you'll carry with you through the rest of your life. It's something you can always be proud of. As we move on to the third-year varsity letter winners, I will be announcing those names. So third-year varsity letter winners, here we go. We have our junior, Dominic DeArmond, Keanu Kroll, and Logan Zott. Our seniors are Michael Bonus, Ben Price, Ethan Scott, Colin Pinson, Aiden Jones, and Brendan Mosier. Guys, that's a tremendous achievement to earn a varsity letter 3 times. The seniors that are on this list, guys, you provided us with a lot of leadership and really set the table and set the foundation for this team moving forward. It was a pleasure coaching you seniors, and we wish you the best of luck in the future. Juniors, to be on this list as a third-year varsity letter winner, that means you earned a varsity letter as a freshman, and that is a tremendous accomplishment. To contribute to a team at that level as a freshman is a huge deal, and to continuously move forward with that level of dedication to do it 2 more years is also something to really hang your hat on. And I'm proud of everybody on this list, as I am everybody on this team. Thank you guys for all you did this year. Next, I am going to go over our all-conference recipients. Guys, like I said, we did a lot of good this year, and that did not go unnoticed within the conference. We were very blessed to achieve the fact that we had 7 people named to the all-conference team, and I'll be listing those people right now. We had 4 honorable mentions to the all-conference team. They were Ali Castro, Brendan Mosier, Seth Quiles, and Dom DeArmond. Congratulations, guys. Big accomplishment there, and you definitely were noticed in the conference. Other schools, other teams certainly had your respect. Moving on to our second team recipients, which we had 2 of. Colin Pinson and Aiden Jones. Congratulations. Well-deserved by both of you. We did have 1 first-teamer make the all-conference team this year. Congratulations to Ethan Scott. Ethan, you did a lot of great things for us this year, playing on both sides of the ball. This was well-deserved. There are not enough words to explain how much you deserve to be a first-team all-conference recipient. Congratulations. As we move on, we're going to get into our team awards. Okay? Guys, these awards, yes, a lot of this has to do with production on the field. But understand, so much of this has to do with what you did as a leader, being someone that the other teammates could look to see how things are done. And I don't want that to go unrecognized as we announce these award recipients. To start, we'll be going with the offensive MVP, and that will be announced by me. So when I looked at this award, and I was looking at the person who is receiving this award, which was agreed upon by all the coaches, that this was well-deserved by this young man, I looked at that phrase, most valuable player, with that middle word, value. That's always something I put a lot of emphasis on. I'm someone personally who, when I look at the NFL and they give out the MVP at the end of the year, I don't really see much value in it when they just hand it to the guy who had the best stats, when they just give it to the person who scored the most touchdowns, because that doesn't necessarily reflect value. Value is actually defined by the quality of being useful or important. And this person was those things. This person was tremendously useful to us on offense. Their importance goes beyond measure. This young man proved to have such a great amount of value that what is normally a niche position in my offense ended up being a position we seemingly could never take off the field. We ended up flexing and moving and changing personnel to constantly have this young man on the field because this person gave us so much on offense. This person really made our offense tick. Normally this is a position where you're on the field in certain scenarios, specific situations. But in our case, because of the level of value provided by this young man, we always had to have him out there. Even to the point of, and this is kind of ironic given the position this person played on offense, but this person had to be our wildcat quarterback. This person had to play tailback, fullback. This person did so much for us. The greatest thing about this was we were doing things at times that we were lining up in formations where this person was the only one in the backfield. And the defense knew if we're running the ball, we have to be running it with Seth Keeles. And Seth Keeles still went on to average 4.3 yards a carry. Still went on to rush for 200 yards and hit a long of 40 yards from the fullback position. That's a tremendous accomplishment. It gives me great honor to announce that our 2020 Offensive Player of the Year is Seth Keeles. Congratulations, Seth. You really earned it. As we move on, we will now recognize our defensive MVP, and that will be presented by Coach Sear.
Okay, couple of quick things here. First of all, I want to just thank the scout offense for helping us out this year. There are times you guys really took a bit of a beating in practice from us, but we could not have accomplished what we accomplished this year without you guys giving us a good look, and it was very much appreciated, to say the least, by all the coaches. Second of all, defense. I didn't really add up the points we gave up this year because I don't know. To me, I looked at it and I said, "Look, here's the one thing: did we give ourselves a chance to win in quite a few football games?" And yes, we did, and that's what we were looking for. Did we improve? Guys who played as freshmen, did they improve from there, sophomores and juniors? And absolutely, we did that. We talked about in the weight room this past winter, what do we need to do to get to the level where we had been, say, in 2016-17 when you guys were freshmen, you seniors? And we talked about what it took, and we talked about how we were knocking on that door of getting there. We were getting close, Fairview, Buckeye. And then in the last two games, I think you busted that door down. You played outstanding football. Going back and watching the film, I could not have been more proud to see you guys flying around and just really creating havoc. And just to see the improvement overall was really, really rewarding. So I want to thank you guys for that and congratulate you guys for that. Now, as far as a defensive MVP, this was a tough one because we had a lot of guys that were worthy, certainly. But we made a choice in the end, and it's one that I think was an excellent choice. We, as a defense, did improve, but we needed that person to kind of be the glue, the quarterback of the defense, to kind of, make sure that everybody was doing the little things right. We talked about how alignment, assignment, and swarming to the ball, and you got to do all three. And if you don't do all three, you only do two, you get a 66%. That's a D, and that's not good enough. And this was a guy I thought that really excelled at all three and kind of helped the defense out with 41 tackles, 22 assists, but you can't even really measure everything that this person meant to the defense. There's so many little intangibles. I even had other coaches that I've coached with in the past who were at some of our games and commented on how impressed, because of the crowd being a little smaller because of the virus and everything, they could hear a lot more than you can usually hear. And they're like, oh my God, he's making checks, he's doing this, he's getting guys lined up. That's what it's all about. So I thought that was an integral part. So our award for defensive MVP goes to Colin Pinson. So Colin, congratulations. Awesome job.
Nice job, Colin. Congratulations, man. Really stepped up in a position where you didn't get a lot of playing time in years previous on defense and did a wonderful job, man. Well deserved. Guys, next we are going to announce our special teams MVP, and Coach Burns will be doing that on behalf of Coach Arnold. Coach Burns, take it away.
Thank you. Coach Arnold apologizes for not being here. He had family obligations. But he did send me a video that he would like me to play. I'm just going to play the audio for it because you wouldn't see his face anyhow. So here it is.
This award will be given to a special young man who bought into the program, who gave us all every time his number was called. No matter the situation, he was always ready to go and do better than the last rep. Ever since you got your chance week 2 against Fairview, you haven't looked back. For the special teams units you were part of, you gave it your all, never looked back. It doesn't matter what the score was, what the weather was, or how much time was left on the clock. Buying in on special teams is very important. It's just as important as offense and defense. No matter where we were, we needed you on special teams. You were always a force when we put you in. In a conference, you ranked 3rd with the longest punt this season, 41 yards, while averaging 37.5 yards per punt, while also not giving up a punt return for the whole unit for the year. Your special teams player of the year, Dom DeArmond.
Guys, and I just want to add, the value Dom gave us to our defense with some of his great punts was something that was definitely noticed. He, because of what he did, and he really helped us control the field position battle, and he did a wonderful job, so it's well deserved. Congratulations, Dom. We'll go back to Coach Burns now, as Coach Burns is going to present the winner of the Trench Award. Coach Burns, it's all yours.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This year I have the pleasure of presenting this year's Trench Award. When we talk about the Trench Award, this goes to the offensive lineman and the defensive lineman who was pretty much big, mean, and nasty. Defenses had to account for him. His blocking, offenses had to account for his offenses had to account for how devastating he was as a defensive lineman. This player earned Offensive Lineman of the Week 4 times, and as most of you guys know, we had a flag that we entered every game with, and it said Hog Squad, and every game, every week, we would have the Offensive Lineman of the Week sign the flag from the previous week, and this year's recipient of the Trench Award is Aiden Jones. Aiden Jones accumulated an offensive lineman percentage of 90%. It was his average. While on defensively, he was second on the defensive line with 29 tackles and 1 sack. Aiden was a captain and a leader on our offensive line and defensive line. Aiden was not only stout on the offensive line, but also on the defensive line where he had to be accounted for. And with all of these accomplishments, I proudly present this year's Trench Award to Aiden Jones.
Aiden, congratulations. Well deserved. I know that from my perspective as a play caller, oftentimes when we were in a position and it was 3rd and 2, it was 4th and 1, and it was just me going, well, let's just run it behind Aiden. So congratulations to you. You absolutely earned it. I hope you're as proud of yourself as we are of you. Now I have the distinct honor of announcing our Redmen of the Year. Guys, the Redmen of the Year, what is that? Well, when I envision this award, I picture a player who displays the 5 characteristics of a successful football program. And we all know what these characteristics are: toughness, responsibility, integrity, belief, and effort. This player demonstrated all of these traits, never missing an off-season workout or a preseason workout, never having a reason to need to leave practice early, but always there, always making an effort to get better, always trying to make his teammates better, serving as a captain, which was an elected position, as we all know. With that much faith in your teammates, he never backed down. Not only did he earn the right to be a captain, but as the season went on, he kept proving why he was a captain. He did everything we asked for and more. Never someone where there would be any cause for concern in the classroom. Something that our young kids can look up to as they move forward through our program. Ended up starting on both sides of the ball when that initially wasn't the plan, but never blinked an eye, stepped up when needed, and did a tremendous job. Statistically, ended the season being our leading rusher and rushing for a tie for the most touchdowns on the team. This person took over as our leading running back 4 games into the season. And in only that many starts on what was already a shortened year, rushed for a total of 562 yards. If you extrapolate that over a 10-game season, this person would have easily rushed for 1,000 yards. I am very proud to announce Ethan Scott as the Redmen of the Year. Ethan, it is well deserved. What I said on offense goes just as much for your accomplishments on defense, and you are tremendously deserving of this award. And for our younger players, Ethan and our other captains, who should also be recognized, Colin Pinson, Aiden Jones, and Dom Gallo, these are the people you want to look up to. These are the people you want to work to achieve what they've achieved. You want to be the leaders that they are. And Ethan Scott represents that as well as anybody. Congratulations, Ethan. Well, Redmen, that does it for our award ceremony. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to leave you with this. Thanks to the seniors for your leadership. Good luck in your future endeavors. Good luck in college. Good luck in life. If there's anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me, because I am happy to do whatever I can to help you as you move forward in your lives. That being said, I want to thank our younger players, our underclassmen. Guys, let's work towards a great future in this program. Let's put the time in the off season. Okay? We saw a taste of it this year. We saw what our program can be. Let's make a great effort to move forward together and achieve everything we know we can. Okay? Again, I want to thank the parents for all your support and the help that you may not have even realized you gave us this year, but it certainly didn't go unnoticed. Thank you for everything you did for us this year for our program. I want to thank all the coaches on the staff this year. It was a tumultuous year, but we got through it together, and I appreciate everything you did for this program. Thank you to everybody involved. Thank you for being here this evening. Let's all have a great night. Take care.